Well, we have the anniversary stuff. Like, what the hell? There's a new unnamed unit that's coming. Like, there's so much stuff. What the hell? Hey guys, I'm back with some leaks for you guys, and it's been kind of hyped up for a little while, rather unintentionally on my part. So my bad on that. There's not going to be a really large leak video, but we do have some anniversary stuff, kind of the first glimpse. And the anniversary stuff is actually pretty insane. We also have a lot more information on Dalia. We have some animations of her, including sound effects and everything. We have stuff on the new event, and then we also have some Guild Boss 2 stuff, some emotes, whatever, we'll get into it. So first of all, I do have to thank a couple of people. Panther, obviously, for having some of these things organized very nicely and also putting some of these things together for me. Rokanshi for finding most of this stuff and being a very consistent and really good leaker for me. And then T, obviously, him and his site are all like insane. And I think Oasis, you know, those are kind of my four guys. So I do have to shout those guys out. But moving on to what we have on the screen, this is Dalia's exclusive artifact. So it's what she essentially holds in all of her artwork that I've shown, and we're gonna get it essentially as an exclusive artifact. So it's gonna be for the event. We're gonna get it for free. Like, you just need to have a bit of the currency. You get it, boom, you have it, and it's gonna be great. Apparently it's less exclusive level, at least like somewhat comparable. Obviously it's impossible to compare artifacts like that, but from what I'm hearing, it's gonna be pretty good. So that's definitely something to consider, especially considering that Lust has a really broken one. Before I move on to what we're gonna see next, which is on multiple more gear dungeons, which we'll get to in a second, I'm gonna show you some of the Dalia stuff. So here's gonna be the cinematic, but with sound this time. So let's go watch it. So if you polar, that's how it's gonna be. Moving on though, let's talk about the thing that I just hinted at, which is these. So you might not initially know what these are, even though I did mention it a little earlier, and these are actually for gear dungeons. So for those of you who don't know, on Forerunner and test server, Gear Dungeon 2, or Gear Raid 5, depending on what you call it, is actually out, and it's really hard, probably the hardest content in the game. Far harder than Gear Raid 4 or Gear Dungeon 1. And as you can see here, despite 2 not being out yet, there's 2 more Gear Dungeons in the files. Wow, that is insane. Like, you would never think that we would have this information yet, but we do, and it's kind of insane. So I assume these 2 are going to be a decently long time in the future, but they exist. So just keep in mind that we're going to get a lot more gear dungeons probably, or these will have some other use potentially, but for what I'm seeing, it looks like they are for gear dungeon, more of them, and that's pretty hype. I'm excited for that, because Gear Dungeon 1 or Gear Raid 4 is some of my favorite content in the game, even though it is hard as hell and it bothers me. But I am pretty excited for this, so definitely stay tuned for that. Moving on though, to make sure we don't take up too much time, we have this. So this, you might not know initially what this is for, but this is actually for the Guild Boss 2. And now we know some things about the Guild Boss 2, which I do have to say, and let me just kind of explain it. So first of all, it's going to be a weekly Guild Boss. So the Guild Boss is essentially going to be, like, you know, you do it every week, so similar to like Hydra, for example, in Raid. I don't know if the mechanics or how many attempts you get to do, blah blah blah, are the same, but you do get to fight it every week, essentially. It also has a name, which is Jou, J-O-U, Jou. I don't know how I should say that, but that's essentially what the boss is for. As you can see, just a couple things here. We have some artwork, you know, the boss health bar, stuff like that. But over here is what I'm more focused on, which says a lot. So right here we have something which clearly is reminiscent of something like the Arbiter of Frost or the Styx boss. You know how it has like that little icon on the side that means that something is happening? Like for the Boreas boss, it shows how much damage over time effect damage is being taken. I can't speak English. But essentially this is making me think that there's going to be some sort of mechanic with the boss that essentially makes it either take more damage, do more damage, interacting somehow with the player and the player's team, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Right here, I don't know what this is from. If anyone has any suggestions or guesses, please comment. And then right here, I assume this is essentially guild boss blood, but for the new guild boss, so I assume it's the currency that you're going to either collect to get the rewards, or you could like, probably there won't be a shop, but essentially this looks like guild boss blood. So keep that in mind. The guild boss, I'll show it on the screen what it looks like if I didn't already. And yeah, the guild boss looks sick. I'm very, very excited for it. And every passing day, it looks like it's getting closer and closer. And I assume it'll be dropping around July, which is where the anniversary is going to be dropped, which we're getting to very, very soon. Just let me kind of talk about some of the emotes, and then we'll get to the anniversary stuff. And here we got a Dalia emote. I do really like emotes. If anyone has seen kind of my other leak videos where I kind of gush over the emotes, I think it's cool. This is a Dalia emote. I like emotes, so you know, they're cool. And then over here we also have some more emotes, but these emotes are kind of weird because we don't have this character and we don't have this character. I don't think this is a character. I think it's just a generic whatever. But this might be a new character. Who even knows? Maybe it's... If anyone has any guesses, please comment, because I have no idea what this could be. And then we have a 1-year anniversary emote, as you can see there. It's pretty cool. So moving on, let's talk about a little more about Dalia and her event before we get into the anniversary leaks. And as you can see here, we got some story. So I'm going to just kind of shift this over quickly so that we can see it a bit better on the left side, and then I'll move it over here. But what we're speculating, this is all speculation because we don't actually have the lore or the kind of how Morrigan and Dalia are related, which they are related in some way, whether it's family or whether it is in some sort of relationship. We do have these screenshots. So this is probably going to be shown during the Dalia event. It's crazy that we have this. But essentially what I think this is for is during the Dalia event, we'll get these kind of artworks or whatever, and then it's going to tie in somehow with lore. As you can see, the dragon is like sucking her. Ayo. And I assume when we fight the dragon, which I did leak a while back, who is a boss, it's going to somehow have lore implications. With Dalia, you know, Morrigan's over here, has some sort of relation. If we move over on the right, we have some things with her being massive as hell. No idea what that's for. Her like sucking up Morrigan. I don't know what the hell is happening. But these are things, okay? And what we speculate, by we I mean me and like Rokanchi, for example, is it could be a sister thing, which they most likely are not. I think it's pretty confirmed that they are not sisters. But it could be, if we hope. Maybe they're lovers. I'm kidding. But essentially, they have some sort of relationship, at least like in interpersonally or in some way. So just keep that in mind. And then moving on, let me also show you a little bit more with media type stuff, aka like videos. And let me just show you that. So as you can see, everything on the top. And here's the description. Join Dalia and Commander Aaron, who I despise with all my heart because they're like one of the worst heroes in the game. Journey to Blackroot Bog, where they will face mighty enemies and discover the fate of the Witch Coven. So that's actually, I think that's how Morrigan and Dalia are related, is through a Witch Coven. And then what impact will these events have on Blackroot Bog? Which also we have a lot of artwork in the content creator area. And Osune, I don't know how to, I can't read that because I have too many pixels. And Tia itself. So it's pretty cool. We got the dragon animations, and yeah. So let's move on to the actual meat of the video, which is the anniversary stuff. And there's a freaking lot to cover here. As you can see on the left, we have all of these backgrounds. I'm not really going to go over the backgrounds too much because we have other things we need to talk about a little bit more. Sorry, I'm kind of moving it around a lot in my recording software. But yeah, so we have all this artwork, which I'm not going to mention because on the right, we have everything that is like more important. So you might initially have some guesses. I definitely do. And this is going to lead to a couple things that it could be. So for the anniversary event, there's obviously some currency over here, which means that we will be having some sort of interactive event, which is going to be kind of crazy. I'm not sure what it is in any way, but as you can see, we have some attack things down here. So this is like essentially reminding me of like the Crawling Dark, you know, where you go through the story stages. So there will definitely be some of those. It's going to be a new story stage type area. It looks like we have, you know, the shop. It looks like we have all of these interactable things, which will bring you places. We have all sorts of assets over here. We have all sorts of currency. I don't know what this is for right here. It's like some sort of building. I don't know what a lot of this stuff is for. But this is giving us a glimpse into the anniversary, which is crazy that we even have this. So right here we have a dragon, which I actually do have some hints towards. Hey, post-editing Destined here, and I realized while editing that I didn't really cover this very well, so I'm just gonna redo it with a lot of new knowledge here. So first of all, what this is telling us right here on the right is we might be getting a Valderon Banner for the anniversary. I wasn't 100% sure. I thought we would get Praetus, which I know I made a whole video on, but it looks like instead of Praetus, they might do Valderon, which is kind of interesting. And I'll get to the dragon looking thing on this side because we actually know exactly what that is, or at least like 95% certainty. And I didn't really go into enough depth before. So first of all, you know, just like we have all of this stuff here. If you want to pause it and you want to look at it, we got these constellations. So we're getting like a starry vibe, which is really cool. And I'm not really sure how that will tie into the anniversary event, but it does kind of work out. We got all the like the shop icons and like all of these icons over here, all the assets. You could pause to look at it. You could just look at it now while it's kind of around, you know, currency and all sorts of things like that. But the main thing I want to focus on is this guy over here. So there's a couple reasons to believe that this is a new hero. And by a couple reasons, I mean quite a few. So first of all, this dragon guy right here is actually shown in a couple things. So first of all, it's shown in this, which is kind of artwork taken from when Mabucket went to Moonton's headquarters quite a while ago. So this has been around for a while. As you can see, we have all of these units over here. This is like the Odyssey Award that we think is going to be, you know, we have a couple units over here. But the main thing is we got the dragon still, which is really interesting. And so it just kind of leads to believing that the dragon is something prevalent, which it is. And obviously it's enforced by the fact that it's shown next to freaking Valderon, a legendary lord. And then we also get to this. So the reason why I think this is super important, it's a unit, and also why I think it's an unnamed unit, obviously is because it was talked about during the Mabucket interview, which I didn't actually watch, even though I probably should have. And also, they have it friggin' on the logo. They have it over here for artwork. And then they have it over here for the constellation. So what this is leading to believe is the new unnamed unit will be dropped around the anniversary event. Like kind of similar time. Obviously, don't quote me on this. It's all speculation. I do have to specify that. But just know that it could end up being that. And we might get our second ever unnamed unit, which is sick. We might get a Valderon Banner, and yeah. So it's going to be a pretty hype week. That's for sure. We're going to get the Dalia event and stuff today. Not today. What am I talking about? This month, most likely. And then this is going to be in like a month and a half after that, which is pretty good turnout. The fact that we're getting so many things is kind of insane. But yeah, so that's about all I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's very early for me. So sorry if I was a little tired during. For those of you who know me, I'm always tired. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope that this was an interesting watch, and some cool stuff is on the horizon as usual, which is kind of a lot of my content is just me saying cool stuff on the horizon, but it really is true this time. And if I ever get any more glimpses on any more anniversary leaks or any leaks in general, obviously I will have a video on those. But I do also have to say that currently where it stands, I most likely will not have any more leak videos for the next month or two. So just don't bug me about them, because there's not much more to talk about. I've talked about so many things. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and Destined signing out.